In today's video, we're going to be going over some of the best compliment pulling fragrances out of my entire 1,000 plus bottle ridiculous collection. Now, let's be very clear and say that you don't need to own a magnitude of fragrances in order to have a good collection that will produce you good results, meaning, get you compliments and be versatile and just smell good to people around you. You could achieve this really with 10 cents or less, and even 10 is probably on the upper end of what you need to have. If you really want to keep it lean, you could just go for maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 really solid fragrances that's going to take you through the entire year, a wide variety of situations and all of that good stuff. So it's not necessary to have an excess of fragrances. That's kind of why we're breaking it down, and I'm going to give you some options that you can, kind of ponder yourself, and maybe these will be a good fit for your collection. But who am I kidding? Most of you watching this already have a collection that's likely a bit out of control anyway, so that probably doesn't apply to most people watching this video, but I wanted to put it out there anyway. So I'll drop links to everything I talk about today down below to discounters. That way you can get these at prices below retail. This first one is Rabanne Invictus Aqua 2024. Now, obviously, this goes back to the 2016, okay? And you're going to see this with another fragrance later on where they changed the name, they slightly changed the bottle, but they essentially keep the scent the same and then re-release it. But I've had my, all of my wearing experiences built into that 2016 version. So that's where most of my experience with this is coming from. Again, they're very, very similar. And out of all of the fragrances that I've owned over the years, Invictus Aqua, starting with the 2016, has gotten me just some of the most compliments ever. Just a really, really high success rate of people who smell it and just really like it immediately, without having to really think about it. They smell it, they think, wow, that smells really good. It smells refreshing, smells summer oriented. It's something that checks all of the boxes. Now the 2024 version, this one has a very simplistic note breakdown. They give you grapefruit, sea notes, and amberwood, ambroxan. You get those notes in the 2016 version, although they added more to that note breakdown there, but still the idea stays the same. The stuff just is powerful, fresh, a little bit soapy clean. It's a little bit sweet, but not nearly as bubblegummy sweet as regular Invictus and as some other fragrances out there these days as well. So it kind of still maintains that fresh body, has a little bit of a marine accord to go along with the watery notes that it has. So just like the slightest bit of the saltiness, but again, it doesn't take it too far either. If it did take it too far, that might hinder the mass appeal. But again, it doesn't go that far in that direction. The main thing that really helps this one along is the performance. And I've said that before many times. A lot of times, the bottleneck for compliment pulling fragrances is going to be performance or lack thereof. If it doesn't perform good, people can't smell it on you, and then therefore there's no way they could compliment you if they just can't smell it. So a lot of times half the battle or more is just having something that's strong enough people can actually smell, even after you've sprayed it on hours later, right? And that's what this one does. Really, really solid performance here. Again, some of the best compliments I've ever gotten came from wearing this DNA, and the fact that they brought the 2016 back into this 2024 is it's one of the best things that's happened in the past couple of years. This next one is Mancera Cosmic Pepper. A little bit of a newer release here from Mancera, but I really, really enjoy this one a lot. So the way I've described this one, and again, it sounds like a broken record, but it pulls from some other very popular designer fragrances that you've definitely heard about and most likely have smelled as well. And I'm basically looking at like Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, and even pulling a little bit of a spicy La Nuit de l'Homme smell as well, mostly that lavender spice mixture. Now, this doesn't use or list off cardamom. They're listing off black pepper and pink pepper. Obviously La Nuit de l'Homme uses that cardamom, but it's the lavender spice mixture that reminds me of La Nuit de l'Homme. And again, it's this kind of creamy, a little bit of fruitiness with that creamy kind of tonka bean and aldehydic freshness that you get from Chanel Allure Homme Sport / Eau Extreme that you get in here as well. So again, it's not exact. It's not a one-to-one clone of one of those or the other, because after all, this did come out years after those. But to me, it is very much pulling inspiration from those, and with its own twist as well, which Mancera has been known to do before. When you take a look at something like Cedrat Boisé getting compared to Aventus, it's not an Aventus clone, but I would argue that they probably did take some inspiration from that as well. But ultimately, I really, really enjoy this one. It's a niche fragrance under $100 that has great performance. It's an EDP concentration, but it performs like most Manceras do, which is well above average. And it smells great to people around you. It has that versatile type of freshness, a little bit fresh, a little bit sweet and powdery, and then just kind of has that peppery, spicy kick as well, making it suitable for spring, for fall, for winter, and maybe for some parts of summer as well. Really big fan of Cosmic Pepper. This next one is Valentino Uomo. This is Born in Roma Intense. Now this one has only 3 notes: vetiver, vanilla, and lavender. And the reason why that stands out to me so much is because really what it does is it gives you an aromatic, so kind of fresh. That's the lavender, of course. It gives you the vetiver, a woody note. Now the vetiver is kind of a soapy, clean type of vetiver. It doesn't go too earthy or too green. Again, it's on the fresher side, so that gives you that woody accord. And then vanilla, obviously giving you a sweet kind of note, right? A little bit of a sweet undertone. So you have sweet, you have kind of aromatic fresh, you have woody. That is like the construct of an amazing men's fragrance, right? Because now you're touching on 3 different categories that a lot of times people like and really hone in on. Some people really like sweet vanilla fragrances. Some people really like vetiver-based woody scents. Some people really like aromatic, fresher-leaning scents. When you combine all of those categories into one, ultimately you get something that smells good and appeals to 3 times the amount of people, essentially, right? And so that's kind of what this one does to me. Is it gives you that ultimate versatility, not only in terms of like you being able to wear it in spring, fall, winter, whatever, but also in terms of people around you liking it. The odds are much higher, and that's what I found with this one, and not just me, but I think that's why this one's so popular to begin with, because it's a great compliment puller. Every time somebody wears this, it seems like somebody says something about it. To go along with that, again, this is what I mentioned earlier, the performance is very strong. This is not only a long-lasting scent, but this one in particular has really good projection as well. It really does push out, definitely not a personal skin scent, and that helps so much. You kind of need to have that to some extent. If not projection, you need to have it where it's heavy enough that it leaves a trail behind you where people will be following you to try to see what it is. That also happens a lot. But you need to make sure the scent is perceivable to those around you in order to get compliments and feedback from it. And this one definitely does. Usually around $130 on discounters, on the pricier end, but well worth it. All right, now this next one is something that I absolutely love the smell of, but I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. It's Diesel Bad Intense. I remember when these came out. I remember where I first smelled Diesel Bad, the original, and it was from a magazine. Yeah, so you know how you get those peel things where you can peel it and then try it there in the magazine? I did that with Diesel Bad, and the problem with that is you're smelling the magazine paper more than you are the scent sometimes. You get that very distinct plasticky type of smell. Everybody's smelled it before. Anybody who's used those sampling procedures, you've noticed that. But you could still pick up on some of that in the base, and that was the original Diesel Bad, which is a bit fresher. The intense version is, to me, probably going to be the better release. Now, this has like this caviar note, a lot of nutmeg, I believe a little bit of cinnamon as well. So it's warm, spicy, but it does still have kind of a fresh, grounded accord. Not a fresh leaning scent, but just a little bit of a freshness to balance it. And also you get a ton of woods in here as well. I don't think they specify the woods in terms of like cedar wood or sandalwood. To me, it's more cedar wood leaning, a little bit more of a dry woodiness, plenty of that creamy sweetness, nice nutmeg, cinnamon spice here as well. It just smells really, really nice. The original fresher leaning kind of has almost like an Invictus Aqua type of theme. It's not exact, but it's in that direction. This one much sweeter, more warm, spicy. It goes in a different direction. But to me, this is something that does smell really good. I thoroughly enjoy how this one smells. I really, really like it. And Diesel is a brand that is, to me, not really trying to innovate a ton. They're not a huge designer brand in terms of fragrances, that is. Maybe they are in clothing and stuff, but in the fragrance community, they're not like a YSL or an Armani or whatever, right? But, you know, that being said, what they do put out, they're probably going to want to make sure it's going to smell good. It's going to get good compliments. And I found that to be very much the case with the original, but also the Intense. The Intense, again, does perform a little bit better as well here. I really just enjoyed. If you want something that smells good, that is going to get compliments and might stand out, because I feel like most people just aren't going to be wearing something like this, then this would be one to look into on the more affordable end as well. All right, now this next one is such an obvious one that it almost shouldn't be in this video. However, I got to stay true to myself and true to, well, the video, I suppose. It is Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Now, I cannot tell you how much of this I have gone through in my lifetime. I mean, you know, since starting fragrances, of course. Now, this bottle's down to about here. I've gone through more. I have so many bottles of this stuff, just the Eau de Toilette, that it's insane. I even have a couple small, what is it? I think they're 60 ml bottles. I would have to look again. I think it's 60 and then 100 and then 200. Maybe it's 50. I don't know, but I have some of those that I've worn through. This one here is down to here. This is a 6X01, so that should be a 2016. Again, I think the batch is reset every 10 years, so if you look it up and it says 2026, that's definitely not going to be right. But again, just, you know, not that I need to really make too much of a point to say it because I've been talking about this for years, but I have worn so much Dior Sauvage EDT, and when it comes down to something that has gotten me the most amount of compliments, it is this, just without a doubt. And a lot of that has to do, most of that has to do with that, you know, really inviting kind of fuzzy ambroxan accord that is at the forefront of Sauvage, but also the incredibly strong and sometimes borderline obnoxious performance that the Sauvage EDT has. Now, has it been reformulated? I don't know. I haven't gone out and bought new Sauvage. Maybe I'll do that. You know, maybe I will. I'll do that. And then I'll compare them. But just, again, speaking from my experience of what I've been wearing over the years, this has gotten me so many compliments. And, you know, there may be better options now. Maybe you could go for the EDP, right? That was out when I was wearing this as well, or came out a little while after, but I still always stuck with the EDT. The Parfum is a really good option as well, kind of a sandalwood, orange, olebanum take. It's a little bit more creamy and smooth, not quite as peppery. That's a really good one. Elixir, you know, it's not going to be on the same level of playing field of compliments as something like this. It's a bit more mature smelling. So again, you have options. There's other blue fragrances as well. But again, for me, this one has worked wonders over the years. And this next one is going to be To Me 19 Degree, a little bit of a newer release here, but one that was an instant love. I remember when I first found out about this one, looking at the note breakdown, I knew it was going to be one that I had to purchase because, well, the raspberry and the leather and the birch combination. I love all of those notes. I love raspberry. It's a very nice fruity note, of course, but with a bit of a different texture that you're not used to smelling. It's used here and there, kind of becoming a little bit more popular. We saw it in Azzaro Forever Wanted Absolute, for example, and of course it's in Tom Ford Tuscan Leather. But you know, again, it's starting to pop up a little more. Still not a ton. It's not as popular as apple or bergamot or grapefruit or something like that. Not even close. The leather I really enjoy, but also because I like raspberry leather. Again, you're seeing that with Azzaro and that Tom Ford I just mentioned. And then birch, you know, whenever I think of birch, I think of Credaventus, you know, and so I think a lot of other people do too. This one has been compared to Credaventus. Man, there's just not much of a similarity. I'm sorry, there's not. It's just quite a bit different. But that's a good thing. Like, I think we should be happy that this is not similar to Credaventus, and I think most of us are because we have more than enough clones to choose from there. Just a unique take from a brand that is new to fragrances. It's a luggage brand as far as I'm aware. But in terms of fragrances, they're, you know, they haven't been doing these for all that long from what I understand. And this one is a really solid release that retails for like close to $200, but you can get it for $58 right now. For $58 and a straight concentration that has this good a performance and mass appeal and complement factor, it is a no-brainer to me. Kind of running down to the end, we have Armani Acqua di Gio Parfum. So earlier I was talking about Invictus Aqua and how it started out with the 2016. Well, this of course started out with Profumo, another one that I got very early on, I think 2017, 2018, and it's been a signature scent of mine for years. When you wear something that much, and again, I can't describe how much of Profumo I have gone through, you're bound to get compliments at some point if it's a scent that smells good to people, right? It's just if you wear it that much, it will happen. And it did. It was a great compliment puller. Another one with great performance, a parfum concentration. So it has the C notes and some of the citrus off the opening like Acqua di Gio, and then it has incense and patchouli. I mean, who am I kidding? I don't need to describe this one a whole lot either. People know it by now. If you don't, you can watch some of my other videos, but you probably do. One of the best signature scents that you can buy that works legitimately all year round. Spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual. Doesn't matter. You can wear it for anything, and that performance is going to get you through the day and get you great compliments. And last up for this video, one that has not been around for years. It was released as a limited edition, went away, and it came back, and it's back for now. I don't know if it's going to stay around forever or not, but I am going to purchase a backup bottle. I'll probably do that when I get done here so I don't forget like I have been. But this one, I don't know what it is about it, guys. I don't know. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. I think this might be my wife's favorite fragrance out of my entire collection. Okay, from what I've heard, I mean, you know, I'm always wearing something. I'm always testing something, and not all the time does she say, oh, you smell really good, or you smell good. A lot of times she might not say anything because it's like, oh, you're wearing something again. Every time I put this one on and I go around her, she says, you smell really good. And again, that's just something that doesn't happen all that often. It happens with this, which has been a lot. I've been wearing the crap out of this stuff here recently now that it came back. I was preserving my bottle before, but now that I know I can get it again, I've been wearing it a lot more. But it also happens with Aventus and Elysium. There's probably a handful, 5, 6, 7 fragrances where she really compliments me like that, but it just doesn't happen often. This is one of them. She loves it, and I love it too. I'm telling you, this one, oh, so good. It's brighter than Sport, but yet it still has some of that creaminess of Eau Extreme, kind of, and Sport as well. Kind of that aldehydic C note freshness and some of that Tonka creaminess that I'm talking about. But the opening, and even just smelling it off the atomizer here, which is not the opening, it's the dry down, even this smells brighter as well. It's just, to me, more of a hybrid scenario going on. Just smells so, so good. I might make this my scent of the day again, although I've been wearing it so much as it is. To me, amazing. Another great compliment puller that just has done so well. I mean, so many people like how this one smells. It's pretty amazing. And I guess it's not surprising, but it kind of is in one way, just how well this one works for so many people. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some of the best compliment pulling fragrances that I have out of my entire collection. Links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.